blood dripping the face of Maya Thompson while the police officer's hand clung more strongly to his wrist. "Please, I'm just collecting my purchases," he begged. In the distance, sirens sounded, different from those of the police. The officers paled when a military convoy approached. Colonel Marcus Thompson had arrived. Now, let's go back to see how this explosive situation began. Maya Thompson, a successful Black neurosurgeon from trained and so many years, the University of Howard sweatshirt was adjusted, while examining fresh products in the Greenlift Market in Oak Ridge Hills, a prosperous suburb of Nashville, where she and her husband Marcus, a colonel, had recently bought the house of their dreams. As one of the few Black families there, Maya was used to sideways looks, but today she felt different. He carried the invisible burden of having to constantly demonstrate that he belonged. A security guard watched her with suspicion, with her eyes fixed on her hands. Maya sighed, but he continued buying, mentally reviewing emergency procedures for surgery that would later have Nashville Memorial Hospital, where he was head of neurosurgery. The tension changed when a white woman with designer clothes whispered something to the store manager, Brad Stevens, pointing to Maya. Maya listened to phrases such as "my bag" and "prescribed medication." Stevens, a thin man with thin hair, headed towards Maya. "Excuse me, madam. I need you to come with me, demand. Is there any problem?" Zrenia asked Maya calmly. The white woman, Karen Whitfield, took a step forward. "He took medications from my bag. I want them to arrest her." The accusation was absurd. Maya, with the same firmness as in her 12-hour brain surgeries, she replied, "Madam, I have not touched her bag. I am a doctor. I do not need to steal medications." Brad, with the decision already taken, he said, "We have called the police." Maya took her phone. "Let me call my husband. Keep my hands where I can see them." "Zrenia." Brad snapped. Other buyers looked away. No one defended Maya. In a matter of minutes, the Derek Simmons and Trevor Hansen officers entered with their hands in their wrapped weapons. Simons, corpulent and with a military haircut, addressed only Brad and Karen. "What seems to be the problem here?" Karen told his invented story, saying now that he had seen Maya take the medicine. Simons turned to Maya. "Lady, I need an identification. I am the Mayan Dr. Thompson. I live 3 streets here." "This is a misunderstanding." "Only identification, ma'am," Hansen interrupted. Simons barely looked at his license. "He says here that he lives in Oak Ridge Hills. Convenient. He made fun of. May I know no one who matches his description lives there?" Maya kept her serene voice. "My husband and I moved last month." "He is Colonel Marcus Thompson, highlighted in Ford Campbell, if he allowed me to call him." Simon mocked. "Yes, of course. And I am the Secretary of Defense. Wish the return? Get behind the back. It will arrest me." "Based on what evidence?" Hansen grabbed her arm. "Not cooperating is sufficient reason." The wives were nailed to Maya's wrists while passing it between curious clients. He noticed that some passers were filming. Simon squeezed wives unnecessarily. "Please are too tight. I am neurosurgeon. I need my hands." Hansen laughed. "Clear. And I am a rocket scientist. My husband will be wondering where I am." Maya begged. Simons leaned towards her. "Trust me, ma'am. After we found what she took, her husband will have major problems." Tears sprouted from Maya's eyes, not for fear, but because of the overwhelming injustice. He had done everything right, the best of his class, saved lives. He married a respected officer. He bought a house in an acceptable neighborhood. None of that mattered to prejudice. While the officers discussed whether registering it, Maya saw military vehicles approaching. Hansen murmured, "What the hell is that?" Simons instinctively straightened. A spark. Hope shone in Maya. Colonel Marcus Thompson had arrived. The convoy stopped precisely. Colonel Marcus Thompson emerged in gala uniform, its complexion of 1.88 meter authority. Captain Rodriguez and Lieutenant Williams flanked him. Marcus had realized that Maya's shared location had not changed in 40 minutes. After previous incidents of racial profile, they had agreed this security measure. The unanswered calls confirmed that. Something was wrong. Seeing his handcuff, something changed in him. He approached, his combat boots resonating in the asphalt. "Officer," he went to see Mons. "I am Colonel Marcus Thompson of the United States Army. It seems that he is stopping my wife without cause. I would appreciate an immediate explanation. Simons, recovering, Farfuo. This is a police issue, Lord." "Back." Marcus remained firm. "My wife is Dr. Maya Thompson, head of Nishville Memorial Neurosurgery. Your call to me makes 17 minutes was interrupted. I need to confirm your well-being." Hansen said, "His wife is stopped under suspicion of robbery, Lord." Marcus Protocol noticed the phone's recording and the discomfort of the store manager. "What evidence supports this?" Karen Whitfield tried to sneak out. "Madam," Marcus said in a calm but firm voice, "please remain present." Karen was frozen. He returned to the officers. "I am familiar with the Tennessee January 3rd 47 code for legal arrests without order. Judicial. None of these conditions seem to be met. I request the immediate release of Dr. Thompson." Simons hesitated. "Lord, you do not dictate the police procedure." "I am not dictating, Simons, officer." Marcus noticed his identification plate. "I am requesting that you follow it. Dr. Thompson performed the emergency craniotomy that saved the daughter of the police chief Donovan last year. He would be interested in knowing." Lieutenant Williams took a step forward. "Colonel, should the boss directly contact?" "I have your office in rapid dialing." This visibly impacted the officers. Hansen took out a key. There could be a misunderstanding. Once released from the wives, Maya rubbed her bunned wrists. Marcus examined them and saw a small cut on his cheek. "Are you okay?" "I'm fine," she said with her professional mask. Brad Stevens approached. "Lord, a misunderstanding. If we could handle this in private." "No, Mr. Stevens," Marcus interrupted. "My wife was publicly humiliated. Any resolution will be equally public." He went to Karen Whitfield. "Lady, you denounced that Dr. Thompson stole medications from her bag." "Yes, but I could have wrong." She wilt. Captain Rodriguez, recording, spoke. "Colonel, I have notified the base command. General Phillips sends greetings and asks if he needs support." The mention of a general amplified the tension. Marcus asked Simons, "Did the evidence that my wife justified handcuffed? We were investigating when you arrived, sir." Then, "They restricted a prominent doctor before having probable cause." "Interesting." Maya touched her arm. "Marcus, my patience. Dr. Thompson has scheduled surgery. There are lives that depend on it. I trust that this can be solved quickly." Simons was stubborn. "We still need to complete our research." Marcus nodded Lieutenant Williams, who called. "Lieutenant Williams speaks with Colonel Thompson. We are in Greenleaf Market, Oak Crag Hills, in an incident that often involves Dr. Maya Thompson. The colonel requests the presence of Chief Donovan." The officers exchanged nervous looks. Soon, the mermaids announced the police chief, Richard Donovan. Seeing military personnel, restless officers, and the crowd filming, their expression overshadowed. "Colonel Thompson, what is the problem?" Marcus made sure his conversation remained in the public. "Chief, transparency serves us all." Maya spoke. "I was accused of theft, handcuffed without evidence, and threatened. My attempts to explain or call my husband were interrupted." Donovan looked at his officers. "I am sure they followed the protocol." "The protocol includes probable cause before detention, boss." Marcus interrupted. "It does not imply questioning the residents based on the race." The observation remained in the air, undeniable. Maya and Marcus had met 3 years before when she, her neurosurgeon, treated her combat wounds. His link, built on mutual respect now. He strengthened them. Captain Rodriguez returned with the Mayan cart. "Colonel, your vehicle contains medical equipment. We will need to register it." Simon started. "Unnecessary, official." Donovan snapped. He turned to Karen. "Lady, you denounced a robbery. I thought I saw it near my cart." My medicine for anxiety was missing. I could have precipitated. Can I see the bag? Drania asked the boss. The bottle was visible inside. Karen blushed. I don't understand what made her be sure. Drania pressed Marcus. Karen avoided her. Look, I simply felt threatened when she came down the hall. Brad Stephen hastened with a tablet. Security recording, he clearly showed that Maya never approached Karen's cart. The boss, Donovan Caraspio. Well, a misunderstanding. Dr. Thompson, in the name of the department, Nashville Police, I apologize for the inconvenience. The apology rang hollow. Head Donovan, declared Marcus. Qualify racial profile, illegal detention, excessive use of strength, and public humiliation as appropriate. We will file formal complaints against Officers Simons and Hansen for violations of civil rights and undertake actions against Greenlift Market and Mrs. Whitfield for false complaint and discrimination. News trucks arrived. Lieutenant Williams reported, Colonel, 17 community members witnessed this. Several offer statements about similar experiences with these officers. Brad Stevens paled. Dr. Thompson, perhaps store credit. Mr. Stevens, does my dignity have a price that your store can pay? Zrenia, Maya's tone was icy. The officer Hansen was discreetly telling the passerships to erase the videos. Williams shouted, Chief Donovan, his officer is instructing witnesses to destroy evidence. Should I send this to legal matters? The confrontation tightened. Among the curious was Walter Jenkins, a 78-year-old deacon who suddenly grabbed his chest and collapsed. Maya ran towards him. Lord, can you hear me? I am Dr. Thompson. He evaluated it. Heart event, call 911. Officer Simons tried to intervene. Redicida, madame. My wife is a boss of neurosurgery at Nashville Memorial. Drania Abramo Marcus. Remove unless you want to explain how it prevented emergency care. Simons. Back. Drania, Donovan ordered. Maya began thoracic compressions, telling Williams to timid them, and Rodriguez found aspirin. Walter's eyes stirred. You are the lady you were bothering. Try not to speak, Lord. I wanted to help. Too scared. Panting. I understand. Let me help you now, Maya said sweetly. The paramedics arrived. Suspicion of myocardial infarction, Maya reported. The main paramedic recognized it. Dr. Thompson. I was here for another matter, she said. They praised their rapid action. He probably saved his life, Doctor. Walter on the stretcher took his hand. Thank you, Deacon Jenkins, First Baptist Church. I should have spoken. Rest now, Deacon. We will talk later. The contrast was marked. The accused, humiliated now, was a professional who saved lives while her accusers watched. Maya's phone rang. A 16-year-old with a subdural bruise immediately needed her in the Nashville Memorial. Marcus turned to Donovan. Chief, my wife needs a police escort. The life of a teenager depends on it. Of course, I think that Officer Simons and Hansen are available, Marcus added coldly. Don CD. Strategy accepted. Officers, escort Dr. Thompson. Priority 1. While Maya settled in the patrol car, irony did not go unnoticed by her. With his Howard sweatshirt, he was still just a black person, allegedly guilty. Hansen in the rearview mirror. We will take it there in 10 minutes, Dr. Thompson. His new courtesy was discordant. Hansen officer, that teenager needs the best attention. Take me there safely. In the hospital, the executive director, Dr. Tarn. James Richardson received it. Dr. Thompson, the operating room 3 is prepared. Maya turned to Simon and Hansen. Thanks for the escort. Simple statement without grudge seemed deeply affecting Hansen. While Maya was going to save a life, Marcus's words resonated. They need to see that they cannot break. While Maya operated, justice for Ladra Thompson became a trend. The videos of the prospects about the accusation, the prejudice, the intervention of Marcus and Maya saving Walter Jenkins, they went viral. Marcus met with the civil rights lawyer, Alaya Washington. The recordings of body cameras are crucial, Washington said. I have requested to preserve all the tests. Lieutenant Williams documented Hansen telling witnesses to erase the videos. Captain Rodriguez has recordings since my arrival, Marcus said. Manipulating the witnesses is serious, Washington said, reviewing the officer's files. Simons had 7 previous complaints for use. Excessive force against minorities, all dismissed. Hansen had 3 more pending investigation. The executive director of the hospital, Dr. Richardson, assured Marcus the full support of the hospital. Greenlift Market fired Brad Stevens and issued a public apology. Karen Whitfield was an administrative license by its real estate agency. The community's response was mostly indignation, although a minority defense gave the officers. After 4 successful hours in surgery, Maya saw her cheek, bruised in a mirror. His colleague, Dr. Amelia Carter, said, "Incredible work, Maya. Everyone is talking about today." "I only do my job, Amelia in surgery and in the supermarket." Marcus hugged her. Fort Campbell military officers issued a statement condemning the treatment and requesting a complete investigation. Mayor Patricia Collins convened a municipal emergency meeting. Dr. Richard organized a Dr. Richard home security escort for Thompson due to worrying messages of police supporters. As he approached his home in Oak Ridge Hills, Marcus saw a car without badges watching his entrance. Inside, Maya collapsed. "I did everything right. Titles, certifications, save lives. None of that mattered because it was black and had a sweatshirt." His phone rang, an unknown number. Dr. Thompson George Simons, father of Officer Simons, president of the police union. His voice was a warning. Continuing complaints against officers could have lasting repercussions. "Mr. Simons," Marcus interrupted, "Colonel Thompson speaks. If you're threatening my wife, this call is being recorded and will go to our lawyer." Simons. It pretended kindly. "No threat, Colonel, just an observation." "They won't make us easy," said Maya. "They never," Marcus replied. "But we have the truth, and we will make sure they all listen to it." George Simmons mobilized the police union. A Contranarivo painted Maya as conflictive and Marcus as someone who abused his authority. His garage was painted with a racial insult. The police response was slow and indifferent. Maya's surgeries were mysteriously reassigned due to patient applications. Anonymous complaints questioned their aptitude to exercise what the executive director, Richardson, dismissed as reprisals. Marcus was warned by a superior, Colonel Frank Harrison, about overreach when involving military personnel. Meanwhile, support grew. Walter Jenkins mobilized his church. The journalist of research, Zoe Carter, contacted Maya. His investigation showed discriminatory police surveillance patterns in Nashville-rich neighborhoods, especially in Oak Ridge Hills. Officers Simons and Hansen appear repeatedly, Zoe revealed. Patrol Oak, Rich Hills at the request of the Association of HOA Owners. Marcus discovered that the previous owners of his house had tried to sell it to a black family. The sale was frustrated due to HOA concerns about the values of the property. The HOA then began to fine the Thompson for trivial infractions. Dr. Amelia Carter organized a medical escort service for Maya at the hospital after listening to threats from out-of-service officers. Marcus compiled testimonies from other military color families who faced similar harassment. Maya received an anonymous text message: "Remove complaints or your patients will suffer." Marcus, using a safe military laptop, discovered a private messaging group where Simon's officers, Hansen and others, discussed community cleaning, selective harassment of minorities. "He has paid it attention when we keep the neighborhood's profile intact." Hansen had written with racial insults. It turned out that George Simmons was part of the Oak Hill Hills board, Rich Hills. Brad Stevens had frequently reported suspicious individuals to this group. Maya's review of the data of the Nashville Memorial, they had worse results and expected longer, as if the staff unconsciously adopt the prejudices of the officers. The executive director, Richardson, was horrified and initiated corrective measures, and the hospital board issued a public statement supporting Dr. Thompson. The military police found 18 minutes of manipulated body and Hansen body recordings. Both officers had no less than honorable military police units omitted in their requests to the Nashville Police Department. Lieutenant Williams found bribes, financial among the police, the HOA, and businesses such as Greenlift Market. George Simons, not knowing the participation of Williams, tried to bribe him to clarify his observations, an attempt that Williams recorded. In the midst of this, The 8-year-old son, Hansen, needed emergency neurosurgery due to a cranial trauma. Maya, on guard, saved her life. Hansen, in the waiting room, he murmured, "Thank you." Maya nodded professionally. Chief Donovan, facing growing evidence from Washington, and Zoe Carter met with Thompson in private. "I have always believed that we serve the entire community. His evidence suggests otherwise." He gave them a USB memory with internal communications, directives to delay the investigation of their vandalism, suggestions to press them, and an email by George Simmons to find something, anything, to discredit them. "This was never just me," Maya told Washington. "It is about a system that determines who belongs. And now we have the evidence to challenge it," Washington said. Department of Justice will review the case for civil rights violations. The courtroom of the Department of Justice, DOJ, was crowded. Maya related the events of Greenlift Market with clinical precision: the false accusation, the assumed guilt, the refusal to let Marcus call it the teasing. The officer, Simon, said, "That I know, no one who matches his description lives in that neighborhood." He spoke of learning early that excellence was not enough. He needed an irrefutable proof of belonging. Marcus testified about his double conscience as a Black and military official man and his necessary protection measures. The surveillance recordings of the store and the edited of body cameras were reproduced. The complainant officer testified about the culture of keeping clean in certain seals. Karen Whitfield collapsed. "I never really saw her take anything. I simply felt uncomfortable. It didn't seem to belong." Dr. Thompson did something specific to feel uncomfortable? Drania pressed. Washington. "No," Karen whispered. "She was simply there." Simons and Hansen's lawyers failed to justify their actions using the police manual. Cy Carter presented his data on discriminatory police surveillance. George Simmons's bribery attempt and his contradictory testimony destroyed his credibility. Community members, including Walter Jenkins, shared similar experiences. Maya, in his final reflection, said, "The expectation of Black excellence as a prerequisite for basic dignity is perhaps the most insidious aspect of contemporary racism, and even then it may not be sufficient. The evidence presented constituted an irrefutable narrative of systematic discrimination." 6 months later, the Nashville Police Department was transforming. Simons and Hansen were dismissed. Criminal charges were presented for violations of civil rights. George Sims faced accusations for corruption, witness manipulation, and conspiracy. Police chose a new leadership. A decree of consent of the DOJ ordered comprehensive reforms, training on implicit prejudices, community supervision boards, reviewed policies on the use of transparent force and discipline. Chief Donovan assumed this as his legacy. Karen Whitfield's guilt agreement included community service in the food bank of the First Baptist Church, which was transformative. Oak Ridge Hills established an inclusion council, led by Walter Jenkins, to address your exclusive story. Property's values remained stable after discriminatory practices ended. Maya began a mentoring program for minority medicine students and reformed the Nashville Memorial Treatment Protocols for minority patients. Marcus, promoted to Colonel Plenary, developed an initiative for civic-military relations. Although the personal cost was significant, the Thompsons stayed in Oak Ridge Hills. "This is our home now," Marcus said. Maya later performed emergency surgery to the mother of Officer Hansen. Hansen, deeply changed, silently recognized her mistake. The Thompson organized barbecue of integration into the neighborhood. A year after the incident, Maya returned to Greenlift Market. "And white old neurosurgeon? You saved my grandson's life." This simple human recognition was the change for which they fought. In the office of his house, a coupled article, "Illegal Detention Leads to Systemic Police Reform." The case of Thompson became a reference in police academies, a testimony that accountability is a necessary correction for equal justice. The story of Maya and Marcus Thompson illustrates deep truths. Excellence alone does not protect from prejudice. The discrimination systems are interconnected. The documentation is crucial. Change requires courage and collective action. And the institutional transformation, although it demands persistence, is possible. Justice means creating systems where dignity is not determined by race, respect is not won by exceptionality, and accountability serves everyone.